around. Let's see. Maybe. They're probably live by now. Nope. It's not on Facebook yet. Come on. Still grinding. We're live set. Come on in, everybody. We see you out there. It's Comics by Night. It's another Friday morning, 5 a.m. my time. Whiskey's time. Dre's time.
10 o'clock here.
Party's still going over this
10 o'clock there.
I'm still drinking coffee.
Just starting. There we are. Getting the hard caffeine. You build up a resistance over time, they tell me.
Apparently. It's a real pity.
It's just injected straight into your veins.
And there we are. We are public over on my Facebook page now, so everybody can see us. Get that chat rolling. Start things up. We're going to be looking at BLACKMARK today. Folks, BLACKMARK will have Andre, why don't you give everybody a quick introduction as to who you are?
Good morning, everybody.
Why you're up at this ungodly hour.
Yeah, good Lord. If that ain't the truth. Good morning, everybody. I'm Dre DeBrew Daniels. First of all, it's an absolute pleasure to just be here with all you fine gentlemen this morning. The sun is not up where I at right now, which is Washington, D.C. And
there you go.
Yeah. So I am a comic book writer, producer, director, editor for Brutal Planet Comics. And I have the distinct privilege of running an Indiegogo right now for my comic Trouble, The Rhythm Within, and just being here with all you fine folks and being here for Facebook and YouTube, wherever everyone is. Pretty much this is just a huge campaign to make comics fun again, pretty much, in a nutshell, because the big two, and if you want to throw Dark Horse in there, the three, has really taken a big dip over the years in fun and entertaining our audience. And this is my brainchild, and it is an action adventure musical, and it asks the most important question I've ever asked in my life, which is, what would happen if music gave you superpowers?
Oh.
And it studies the mental, emotional, and psychological effects that music has on the human body. And we go deep into also aspects of the stereotypical of how it would make somebody react and physical transformations that the body would undergo. So throughout this story arc, it follows our main hero, Zamir Green, which is a high school student which gets infected by a mutagen that was put in Washington, D.C.'s water supply. And then he figures out that he begins to absorb sound waves, and those sound wave absorptions causes changes within his body. So throughout this book, there's a musical element to it. There's lyrics. There's going to be in this a digital music pack. There's going to be a lot of stuff in this campaign. I worked on this for many years. I released 8 issues of this arc together, but now the full-on trade paperback is finally here, and getting these prints is what this campaign is all about, because printing ain't cheap, baby, not for one solitary second. And I think like bringing this to everybody, because I've done cons and local signings in my area, but I think I want to bring this graphic novel to as many people as I possibly can. It's a labor of love. I've worked really, really hard on this, and my artist, one of the best artists in the game, shout outs to Federico Corsini, love that man. And we worked really, really, really hard on this project to really bring this to life. And I think this is like a jumping off point for a lot of cool creativity. Music is practically endless. I've had people come with all types of cool ideas for what other songs he can use and all other stuff, and creative stuff and all that wonderful stuff, because I want to make comics fun and cool again, like a lot of the indies are. And this is my campaign, and I'm really excited about it.
Excellent.
Cool.
Very cool.
Excellent.
Original
Right.
idea. Really
You can
good.
go. You can go now, Dre. You've just said it all.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I really love this. It's inspired by a lot of comics from my childhood and things. X-Men, of course, Static, which is insane because I am influenced by Gil Kane, which we'll be talking about today. So that's even more exciting.
There you go. Yeah.
It's a lot that goes into this. A little bit of Scott Pilgrim. It's an amalgamation of so many fun, cool ideas that I wanted to bring to the forefront. So this is gonna be one of the funnest projects to be supported and to be backed. So definitely, I thank you all in the chat and those on Facebook and those that might watch this on replay. Thank you for checking this out, and definitely hit me up on Twitter at thebrute00 if you had any ideas or questions or just all that great stuff. That's the best way to reach me. I'd love to hear people's thoughts and stuff. So this is a really fun project, and I enjoyed doing this years ago. Well, years until now.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That's Treble over on Indiegogo right now. So go over there and check that out. We're going to run the opening, and then we'll get into Gil Kane here. As soon as I find the opening. Here we are.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time with theory.
There we are. BLACKMARK, folks, by the great Gil Kane. Last week, we looked at his My Name is Savage, which was a magazine format graphic novel that came out back in the early 70s, late 60s. We took a good look at that. This is a reprint of that magazine. There, we went through that last time. This time, we're going to be looking at BLACKMARK, which is an amazing work that he did. He was out looking for, Gil was out freelancing and was approached about doing a different kind of paperback book. And back then, these paperbacks were this size, easy to slip into your back pocket. Most of them were a lot of pulp reprints and, novels, but they wanted to do something with comics. And so he pitched a original barbarian after the apocalypse barbarian story. It was originally printed in this size. I don't have it in this size because, I've never actually seen it, especially within the last, 10, 20 years of doing conventions. I've never seen anybody offer this. Back in, 79, I believe it was, Marvel reprinted one of the stories. He did 2 issues worth. One of it was printed in this format and it hit the stands. And the other one never saw print until Rick Marshall and Gil Kane came to an agreement and they printed it in a black and white Marvel preview magazine.
Did Goulart write it?
No, this is all Gil Kane, except that Archie Goodwin was brought in right at the last minute to add to the prose.
Right. Okay.
On it. And like Savage, it's a combination of pictures and prose.
Until recently, I didn't even know this existed. So,
yeah,
is that
No,
it's have you read this?
I've read this one. I don't think I've read the first one.
Is it like Elric?
No, it's
Michael Moorcock.
Not quite as depressing, actually. It is a bit of a downer, but not quite as depressing as Elric.
Yeah.
Because that can be pretty.
It can be quite intense.
Yeah.
You want to read that one?
But it is after the apocalypse, after magic's been restored, barbarian story. The guy's running around with a mutant zebra horse, antelope.
Why would
That's pretty
creature.
cool.
That's fun.
Like you would do.
Yeah, like you do.
A warmer climate, so the girls are scantily clad. So
Of course.
there we are, of course.
Wouldn't have it any other way. It's a barbarian story.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Wouldn't have it any other way anyway.
So we're going to go through the first story, I figure, in this format. Gary Groth and Fantagraphics reprinted this with Gil Kane.
What's he jumping over there? It looks like a person's, like the leg and a foot, but is it just the tree?
It's a root, yeah.
It looks like a leg, doesn't it? Like a
Does
guy
look like a leg, yeah.
fallen on his back with his knee and his foot.
Yeah.
Very odd.
Bizarre.
Maybe
It's
started
close
out.
to-
Yeah, he probably changed his mind halfway through.
I might have.
That's
Tree now.
definitely a leg and a sandal or something down there.
Yeah.
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 You would think so, yeah. Leg.
Wait. It's
Might be a
another
large
zebra
mutant.
creature.
It's another zebra.
Might be a mutant
Maybe.
creature. Who knows? BLACKMARK. Gil Kane, great shot there. Book 1, New Earth.
Wow.
So what they
It's
did is that they
tight in
put the
there.
artwork up probably to original size, even though it was reduced for the original printing. That was that size. They figured this format would be best to serve the art, so that's what they released the book in. I think the book's still available over on Amazon. I'm not positive. I hope it is. It's a kind of work that needs to stay in print because it's a unique blending of comics and story.
Yeah, and this was like an interesting time period because pulp was starting to fade a bit, but this
Yeah.
thing definitely like just still screams like pulp story.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Simultaneously, while in the midst of a transition into like what we would consider, I guess, traditional comics. And it's like a beautiful combination of both because even though the paneling at this point is still storyboard, and it's beautiful. I think that's really, really great.
Yeah, it's really a interesting mutation between comics and prose.
I like the on the first page there, or I mean, this whole story as it opens up with the caravan and the destroyed terrain. It's actually, having not seen this at all ever, it's the very similar visual style of terrain to what I got going on in my own comic, and the same kind of introduction where they're, you're on the road.
Yeah,
with the
It's
caravan.
very 70s.
there's antelope horses. Oh yeah, very much so. Very
Yeah.
much so. Back during this period, the pulp reprints in this size paperback were really going strong. Everything was being reprinted at that size. That's where Conan came out of. That the popularity for Conan popped up was in the little paperback size books that people would be able to purchase. So they decided Gil wanted to play with pictures and words in that format. So that's why the artwork is the way that it is.
Even the premise too of the two different universes, my own stuff and this is similar as well. Like the empire that the comic is set in was destroyed by a cataclysm, and then it's very similar.
Yeah. Well, here magic gets restored. Mutant beasts spring out from the the atomic wastes. And every once in a while, you're going to see a panel with a lot of extra ink detail because there were times here and there that Neil Adams was helping Gil out on this just to give it a little extra polish. They were really hoping for this format to catch on. And outside of one issue of Starhawk, or not Starhawks, but one issue of BLACKMARK, it never went any farther. I think the company that was working on the project ended up going out of business. And here you see he's being attacked by a werewolf type character. Mutant wolf ape. As they are. There's another great shot over the, cresting over a hill.
Is that a skull cap or just a cloth coif?
Here? That's a cloth hat.
I like how this book kind of combines a lot of different time periods and elements with just a few short panels. It gives me like, Oregon Trail vibes while
Mhm.
crossing with like Unreal Fantasy, and it's really interesting with like a cross of apocalyptic.
Yeah,
This is well put together. Like this is top tier stuff here.
I'd consider this very 70s type
Yeah,
material.
oh,
Like Glenn said,
absolutely.
you're getting a lot of underground, more sophisticated vibes here. The lady's got the black mark tattoo on her thigh there.
I wonder what that's all about. Have you read this, Ren? You read this one, right?
Yes, I have.
What's the black mark about?
It's a tattoo, significant to the story. The mark ends up transferring to her son, who's the main character of the story here. I believe she ends up being attacked by these guards here, and they end up leaving
Look
her
at that.
pregnant.
Look at that negative space on that bottom panel on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Just empty space. It's absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful, that, isn't it? The curve on that, the way the rocks are at the bottom, the way it brings it round. Absolutely brilliant.
And he knows he's working in black and white too, because all of these zip
Yeah.
screens are in here. This is all
Yeah.
Zipatone used here. A lot of this was put together pretty quickly because he was still doing comics at this point. And,
Those
he was
faces
taking
on
it,
those,
yeah,
those just
taking it
excellent.
as much time on it as he could. Sometimes he fell behind a little bit and had a few extra inkers in there. Was having a lot of trouble with the story, so he asked Archie Goodwin to come in and punch up the script a little bit. All the dialogue is in balloons, and the prose in captions or outside of the boxes.
It's always the trouble when you get us upstart artists trying to write.
There you go.
Thanks.
Well, he knew to go to the professional. That's
Yeah.
Archie at this point had been longtime editor over at Warren Magazines and was doing a lot of freelance comic book writing for Marvel.
It also helps when you know Marvin, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Archie. It's
I mean, when you know someone, it's like when I went to Rick for the dialogue on Only Death. It's like I knew the story I wanted to write, and I did write the story. I put it all together, and he was quite complimentary about the script that I produced. And he just came in with a few extra bits and pieces, some great dialogue, and then I just plotted it roughly the second book and let him go with it. And that kind of thing. It's almost like a writer's room. It's a really good production process.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have someone who knows what they're doing.
See the
Everybody needs an editor.
Green Lantern influence working here.
Yeah.
Well, we had an editor on top, so.
Again, Kane is somebody that can take the human form and just bend it however he needs.
Yeah.
Just really good that.
And apparently zebra monsters too.
Yeah.
Zebra horses.
What would you call these
Antelope.
guys? Cavaliers or I don't know. They're not really knights per se. Maybe mounted horsemen, men at arms.
Yeah. Now you couldn't call them knights. But, it's not an army traveling through. Decides to take advantage of the locals.
It's basically what knights did, anyways. I mean,
Yeah.
up until society was a bit more established. Most of the time, it was just roving around, or like gangs of a couple hundred people, and they would just pillage the landscape.
Bandits.
An outlaw's son, a son spawned by demon science and rogue lust, a black mark of evil. His flesh is the flesh of a thief and deceiver, and he'll bear the name he deserves, not mine. He'll be called after the curse that was his father, BLACKMARK.
So is this kind of like a chosen one story or like a bringer of Armageddon type story.
Almost like an apocalyptic gladiator
okay.
to an extent. He's just
Okay.
a champion character that born from a mother who was raped by these aggressive war travelers and cursed upon. So the husband feels that it's that kid. The kid is cursed. It's a nice little monster.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I like the visual style is really, really cool, and how the a lot of these inks pop really, really well. It's like you can feel the color, and I always like that type when the inks and the lines are so vivid that you can like see what these characters are supposed to look like if it was in color. And I like the really top left panel there when they're showing the barbarians fighting. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of great detail. And it really conveys the story, and especially I like the captions at the top. I think it really bodes well, and I think this is something we can really adapt to modern comics for sure, to help bring out the pretty much flesh out what our panels are doing. I like this. This style is really good.
Well, the cool thing about indies and alternative comics, we don't have to fit in the same format with the same bag and board and stuff. We can play with different sizes if we wanted to, depending upon the abilities of the printer. So this was commissioned to go as a paperback book. It's another great shot right there.
Yeah, that's really good.
Just a great piece.
Another skull hooded character.
That's where Skeletor comes from. Exactly.
I like the use of empty space that he does.
Learning how to use a sword. Just a great, just cut out on the zipatone pattern there for the clouds. Really cool.
The face on that old man.
Yeah. That's Gil in his later years.
A character there.
There we go.
The thing I like about this particular, comic or illustration or book or whatever you want to call it, is the way that he does like the men in it, right? Obviously, the women are all beautiful, whatever. That's his thing, but the dudes, they're all like, you feel like you're in a truck with a dude and he's you're going to pick up a piano or something.
They're all Conan-esque, all big, weather-worn soldiers.
Yeah, either soldiers or peasants or grizzly looking or wrinkled.
Yeah.
Not pulling any punches in the the area.
Mutant dog with a rat's tail running by.
Always a crowd favorite.
Always.
Does this story go into any origins of why the world is the way it is?
No.
Okay, so this is okay.
They just know there's been a big apocalypse, but it's been quite a few generations after it happened. So everything's pretty decimated and sparsely rebuilt.
Everything but their forges, I guess, and their high-powered tools to make things. They just choose not to.
Figured out how to make armor, at least.
Yeah, but like really elaborate armor too. Like if it was
swords. Yeah.
If it was a post-apocalyptic, world, you wouldn't expect there to be a lot of machining equipment around.
Depending on how long.
There might have been a lot of equipment lying around.
Oh yeah, that's
probably no electricity.
When I say equipment, I don't mean machines. I mean shields and swords and things.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at armor back in the day. There was plenty of elaborate armor.
Yeah.
When people didn't have like electricity and the massive.
And don't forget, those shields and armor stuff is still around, so this stuff would last a long time.
Yeah.
So the apocalypse might have been 500 years ago, but the shields and the swords would still be there, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they'd
One of
have
the few
figured out
things
how
they
to
would.
make them. Yeah, how to mine them. Also,
Or repair them at least. I think that's what
Yeah.
one's getting at.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, yeah, there is elaborate armor too, but these are a little bit like some of like the housing and this stuff would be like late 17th century if it was equivalent to
Yeah.
kind of what we have today. But
Yeah.
that's pretty close to like, you know, they had industry, like really strong industry going up to that point, and like, you know, black powder and stuff. So the world and setting kind of looks more like you know, the 800s to 14th century.
But the great thing about this is it's a comic. You can do what you like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
and
I mean,
and of course
we can talk about it and
Yeah.
discuss it.
But what I mean is that the whole point is that rather than it be in the past or like Lord of the Rings, it has the essence. Although it's obviously fantastical, it was written as a folklore for the UK, and so it has that essence of being in the past. So kind of has to adhere to certain things, I suppose, you know, in the way that you're talking about what, you know, how would they have made this, how would they have made that. But this is like, this could almost be 1,000 years in the future. There's been an apocalypse, so there's no guide rails, as it were.
Yeah, throws the rules out the window. Like, I get you. It's also fun.
Yeah,
Like,
it's great.
Visually, it's interesting. You know, but I'm still gonna mention it, like. 'Cause
Oh
it's
no, I'm not saying
yeah,
you
yeah.
shouldn't. I'm just saying it's just like it's interesting to see how this kind of story isn't restricted in any way by, say, historical or by, like I say, with Lord of the Rings. That's completely fantastical, but it has that kind of historical element to it. Whereas this is like, this could be at any time. This could be after we've been, you know, out in the universe flying around in spaceships, and suddenly the Earth is cut off and there's an apocalypse. You have no idea, really. I think that's the clever aspect. And of course, it's typical to being written by an artist, because he's just gone, I don't care about all that. This is what's going on now.
It's like
that's
on
cool.
the Rise and Fall of the Trigon Empire,
Yeah,
where they all dress like Romans, but they fly around in spacecraft and
that's
airplanes.
bizarre. Yeah.
You know, given his history and drawing and his reference work and his fondness for you know, sword and sorcery and stuff like that, I find it slightly doubtful that he didn't go in with the idea of intentionally not drawing armor like everything else. Like,
Right.
you would have to have a, like, yeah, sure, he's like, you're saying, like, yeah, he just wanted to, you know, do it, but I think he put more thought into it to separate the armor from historical context. And you can see it in the designs, because they're clearly cavaliers or knights or mounted horsemen, men at arms, but there is a couple of subtle influences there that, you know, harken to the steppe warriors, or you know, samurai and some other stuff in there, and as well as like knights with shields and so on.
Well,
So it's go ahead.
I'm going to say, yeah, you're right. I think what he's done is approached it like Kirby would, in the way that he doesn't care about doing the reference and somebody saying, "Oh, you did that wrong." And it's easier just to sit and draw. He's just done generic armor, hasn't he? He's just drawn what he wants, and I think that's a good point of what he's doing. He's creating a totally different universe, as it were. But we all know what he's drawing. That guy's got a staff. That guy's he's got laces on his boots. He's, you know, it's that being there. I know it's alien, but it's a horse, isn't it? You understand what I mean? And he's got all the bridle on it. He's got all the armor on it. He's got the horns on the helmets, like Kirby drew in Thor and all that kind of thing. But there probably isn't a real example of that.
Yeah, it's got all the familiarity, but
it's generic, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, for instance, the way that he's covered the face on that on the right hand side there, the guy on the right, he's covered the face with almost a superhero or supervillain kind of fabric, which, you know, is ridiculous.
But it's a comic.
Yeah,
and it's a good one.
Well, it's like he's slightly more methodical, and like I think he intentionally tried to step outside of of historical examples, right? Like so
Right.
he intentionally did it, not just because it was fun to draw, but like carefully thought out to avoid visual context, even though there are hints of it, right? Like of historical accuracy being there.
Yeah, the peasant, the straw roof, the architecture of the buildings. Yeah.
Got a smile on that guy there. Kill him. That smile.
Kill them.
Kill them.
Wipe them out.
I love a good maniacal villain that's just evil just to be evil.
Yeah.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Just because just because he can.
Yeah, like this feels good, so I'm gonna ruin your life. Like that's the good stuff.
That's what happens here.
Oof.
Right in the face.
Not the face, not the face. It's all I've got left.
Look at this filthy, prancing son of a. This is such a good line.
What?
Kid gets knocked.
Look at
back
that
by
sword, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, there, again, we talked about historical context and stuff like that. That sword could easily be exist in real life. It has elements of a real like arming sword or like a one-handed sword, but it has some quasi similar patterns to a lot of other historical swords, but it doesn't use the same patterns. It uses, instead of like gold or filigree or whatever, and not fleur de lis, but paisley patterns and that kind of stuff, and leaves and so on and so forth, like you might find in historical context. It uses a pattern that doesn't fit into any other context. So I think he's intentionally drawing to avoid stuff, and it's just really cool because it's
Well, yeah, it's constantly reminding the viewer that it's not, it's not historical. It's a fantasy setting. Yeah,
but with a great foundation of historical context. So like you say, it's flawless kind of stuff. Creatively, it's so beautiful.
Very back on the horse there. It's the Mammoth tax.
Creatively, it's so beautiful as he's like pulling on and beating the crap out of him. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Hitting him with the right cross. This ain't no game. Good God Almighty.
Can't you tell that from his villain mustache there?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a mustache. Yeah. Nuh-uh.
Not meant for kids.
No. She's just hanging onto the hair and beating the crap out of her. Yeesh.
See a lot of Kirby influence there in the armor workings there. It's as well after he was doing that cosmic run on Thor. So Kane would have seen that. That was very big for the day, though. Just that kind of armor work. It says Conan is raging at this point in paperback, and
there's actually quite similar pieces in He-Man as well. But
yeah. But there's a lot of He-Man was based off of that stuff of the time. Drawn by folks who loved that the stuff when they were kids, just like us. He's about to splice her mark. They leave the kid to himself.
It's quite brutal.
Boy,
that was hardcore.
Yeah.
I mean, but a story like this and how it's depicted and the graphic nature of it, thank good Lord. Like it makes you easily root for the protagonist. It like you want to see him succeed after dealing with such a horrid ordeal. So so like this is well put together because I myself I've never came across this book before.
It's
But me myself,
sorry.
like I'm fired up. Like, man, I really want to see him
See
get
him
his
get his
revenge.
zone back. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of his shipbuilding here, just like in Starhawks that we were looking at, the fins and the basic shapes put together, one on top of the other. The kid has, in the moment of his most emotional state, has a premonition of his future. Is what this is representing. So
Gil
masses
always
of
draws
numbers.
great smoke or clouds, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's master of line work like this. Just phenomenal.
Yep. Had to go for the up the nose shot as well. That one.
Yeah, for the 15th time so far.
He saw masses of numbers, formulas, equations, overwhelming in their intricacies, yet somehow familiar. He saw cylinder-shaped vessels with a detailed image of a series of upright rods made of crystal, each possessing a large crystal knob at the upper end. And with the sudden premonition, BLACKMARK knew though their meeting now escaped him, they would all affect his life, his destiny, his conquest of this sprawling hovel men called New Earth.
Very classical prose or story on this one, or like archetypal, I guess. The hero, traumatized as a youth, and then goes on to be, this powerful, conquering person or whatever.
Hero's
Yeah, and
journey.
he's got this cosmic premonition. He's thrown stars down here in the shadows of the kid, just to add to the fact that he's seeing all of this. It's making him cosmically aware.
Without actually having read any of this stuff, because it's such a classical story, if it's very similar in the way that my own story is set up. Again, It has a similar elements with the all across the board almost. I mean, slight differences, but yeah.
A lot of heroic fiction tropes and elements in it.
The story's as old as time.
Yes. Evil
Which
and
is great.
revenge. Yeah.
Almost burst into song then.
Well, like stories like this, they play on the human condition, right? So like everybody can relate to it, having been in adverse. Like everybody's been in a situation as a young child where they're possibly up against adversity of some kind, or bullies, or whatever, right?
Not like this, I hope.
Not like this,
Yeah.
but
Oh, Jesus.
you can relate to it in some way, right? And then you have the hero, like the hero's journey. So everybody wants to be, either read about it or hear. It's just, like I said, just classical archetypes. Very easy to follow.
Gets picked up and enslaved. Because that's what happens to all king barbarians, apparently.
Yeah. He hasn't got to push around a big clock, has he, or whatever it was. Water tower. Oh, look
The
at my
precious
muscles.
wheel.
It's just making cornmeal. Pushing it, big mill. It's nice. Got an open space here. I think I'll throw in a skull. We get,
Yeah.
Why not?
Always popular.
but I like the little motif like that. Ron Friends does all of his convention sketches kind of like that. It's got that little rectangle or that shape in the background, just to counter the illustration. Now he's a little older, a little angrier, still chained. Your typical evil emperor.
Yeah. Bit plump.
Looks like the guy in Spartacus,
Yeah.
played by I can't remember his name. Anyway, carry on.
Charles Lawton. Look,
Charles Lawton, that's the
Charles
one.
Lawton,
Yeah,
well done.
yeah.
Look at that
That's the one.
memory. Where'd you dig that up from?
it's this huge rocket. Some say it is a flying ship torn from the old ages of science. Others, it's a warlock shrine. Great statue.
This effigy of Baal-esque Buddha
Yes.
thing is really interesting as well. Similar kind of thing with the armor and this, historical context or spiritual context or cultural context, but kind of flipped on its head and very subtly done.
From an art point of view, that I like the way he's challenged himself to get the different angle on the statue and the spaceship with the people.
Yeah.
But to appear together, so you can make the comparison. That's really risky thing, I think.
Yeah. He's also drawn. It's a similar composition.
Yes.
Both those images, but he's drawn it at a different angle.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a very, very challenging, risky thing to do with it appearing on the same spread.
Yeah.
Because by the time if it was on the next page, you'd sort of, you're not seeing the original one. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, especially seeing as he's changed the plinth that it's sitting on.
Yeah. And the position of his hands. Apart from that, what did the Romans do for us?
Yeah.
And the thing on top of his helmet as well, that's changed as well.
Oh,
I take back what I said.
The angle might have been different times, but yeah, the angle's good. You can tell what it is.
Maybe one was inked by Kane and was inked by the other guy. Slight changes on the pencils.
It might have been drawn at different days. He didn't
different times.
Look back and make that reference.
He likes a lot of up shots, doesn't he? Depending on what he's looking at. You know what I mean?
Kind of got a down shot here. Just shot there.
That's only one in a million, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. He was so good at drawing. Again, that his anatomy just amazes me that he's able to take that body and bend it however he needs it.
That's like a Spider-Man shot, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Well, what a fantastic run he had on Spider-Man.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That's true too. Yep.
Indeed.
There's another one of them hands. You know, I saw that hand in a Zatanna story, and I'm like, that's not right until you look at it in the mirror and you're able to get that.
It's stretched anatomy. It's become a bit of a trope, actually. You see a lot of people use that.
It's almost like a Ditko Doctor Strange hand, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's just tired of being enslaved here.
Good,
I'm tired of being enslaved. Sort it out.
Yeah. Look at that guy. Look at his face when he's strangling that guy. Look at his face reaching back. You know, really. The guy behind, straight to killing him. You know, the BLACKMARK guy. Look at the look on his face as he's doing it. It's like, have some of that, pal.
Yeah.
I could just see is he like somebody in the one of the lords like, who gave him a garrote? Like,
yeah.
Why?
Well, he had it in his back pocket. This will come in handy one day, you thought, 20 years ago.
That guard.
Yeah.
Well, shouldn't we put him on a final warning? No, just sack him, will you?
Yeah,
we can't do that. HR won't let us. We have to give him a warning. He's killed the bloody... No, give him a warning. Oh, okay.
He's got rights.
He's got rights.
Look at the waist on that girl there.
Yeah.
Must be about 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the
No way.
lines of the beside it.
Talk-
The
Talk
spider.
about having your stomach stapled. Good
No
lord.
Yeah.
internal organs.
That girl at the bottom's Mary Jane.
She's more in
Yeah.
charge too, because she tells him, "Don't slay him. I want the barbarian taken alive."
Oh,
There's always a
she must
mistake.
She must be from HR.
Where are organs? She wears corsets as a hobby and hits the gym. Enough said.
That's the one.
Great feat.
Yeah, well, you see, the other thing you got to remember is everybody was skinny in the 70s.
Right.
This is after the apocalypse too, so everybody's malnourished, right?
Yeah,
Except for the incredibly wealthy, like the emperor there, Charles Lawton equivalent.
Yeah. Wow, look at that. That's a
Wow, that's some
Ben-
perspective on that. Yeah.
bendy body there, isn't it? Wow.
Why'd you draw it like that? Because I could.
Yeah. Oh, such stupid questions.
Yeah.
Also, you see the mark on his thigh as well. Brings that out. It's real, lad. You have the power of Amerix. Raise the sword over your head and become a He-Man. No, just kidding. He's having the world explain to him. Perhaps you dreamed it in vain.
The
Those
flame
ammo.
lizard.
Amerix's power resides in me. It's been no heritage but a curse. I'm bored. Who do we have coming on here? Max. Max is coming in. Max, welcome aboard.
Max.
Hey.
How are you?
Morning, Max.
Morning.
Guess you guys started for my time.
It's before everybody's time.
This is before almost everybody's time, this stuff. This is Black Mark by Gil Kane. Nice sword.
Like that dinosaur.
Post-apocalyptic barbarian
Yeah.
It's kinda-
story.
It looks slightly like a squirrel on that one on the left there.
Here in the face.
Yeah.
It's the cute eyes. That's all.
It's got massive nuts.
Yeah, that too. It's after the apocalypse. I can draw whatever I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight up. Yeah.
Like squirrel lizards.
Getting battered around.
I was like that in 2000 AD, the way they crossed over Flesh with Judge Dredd by having the Tyrannosaurus Rex in the Cursed Earth.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Survived.
really cool. Yeah.
It's really liked Flesh in general. The
Oh,
story.
it was great. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just fantastic. I always thought it would make a great Snake Plissken movie.
Oh, God, yes.
Like Escape from Jurassic
Escape,
Park.
yeah.
Escape from the Jurassic period.
Mate, now we've
Well-
got to draw that.
We'll we'll alleviate your sentence, but you have to go back in time and fight dinosaurs. Oh, Okay.
I don't
yes.
give a damn about your time machine.
Yeah.
I have the hook basically make it so that fighting time or dinosaurs in time is the national sport or whatever. And there you go. Death
Well,
race.
the story of Flesh is they've invented a time machine, and the Earth is so overpopulated. The populace are starving, so they go back and start harvesting dinosaurs for the meat and sending it up the timeline for people to eat from.
Yeah.
And then one
Right.
day the shipments stop, and they don't know why. Now all the communication they can't talk to them, so they end up taking an ex-convict or a convict in general, one of a Snake Plissken type, and they tell him we'll commute your sentence if but you have to go back in time and start the meat flowing again so that we can eat. So he ends up going back in time and come to find out the dinosaurs were all sentient.
Oops.
Or at least some of them were. Yeah.
Some of them were, yeah. I like the one that always freaked me out was the one with the giant spiders.
Yeah. Because there always has to be giant spiders.
Oh, there's got to have a giant spider, yeah.
There's a 3-part Judge Dredd story by Ron Smith with he's out in the wilderness, and the town gets overrun by huge hordes of mutant spiders. It's just incredible. What a great story. It's like the Lanigan versus the Ants story.
Yeah, you just don't want to touch the pages.
Yeah.
Ooh, spiders.
It's taking out the lizard.
See that page there where he's the left-hand page where he's jumping with the sword off the top? Yeah. Why have they put the word box over the sword? Why didn't they just push the word box over and up?
Yeah. I guarantee you I could have changed the shape of that, put it more into the corner and seen more of the illustration. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the designer on it was rubbish.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something under the word bubble thing that they wanted.
Could have been the largest. Yeah, that could be too. This could have been the largest spot of dead space, but you could have extended it up.
No,
so
you can miss the sword here. You can miss the sword with that text.
And probably the top of the dinosaur head here. If you move
unless the dinosaur has got a massive breast on the top of its head.
So he could have had a big penis on top of his head.
That could be.
You see, what I would think of doing if that text, I think that text would fit in that upper corner. But if it didn't, that's what the editor's job is to chop that text down so we see the artwork. That's my opinion. That would be my that would be my editorial decision if I was doing that.
Because they shoved it over to the side here on this page.
Yeah.
That they could have done. But 1 out of 120 some pages.
Not good enough. Got to be all right.
Yeah, I know.
Uncle Glenn has spoken.
This could have been broken up even so that all of his tail was there.
So that's 2 out of 110.
You see that text there. We've seen it on previous pages where they've run it right across the bottom, and that would all fit under that tail.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's lazy design.
I was going to say it's called lazy lettering.
Yep.
It's thrown in. Got to get it done. Get it out. Another class.
It's not even lettered. It's typed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all typeset. Yeah.
Typeset. Yeah.
Yeah, and if that was done by hand with a nice box around it, probably let it go.
Yeah.
Go, yeah, okay, yeah, it looks nice, but because it's typeset like that, it's pretty hideous.
Horrible, isn't it? The typeset.
Yeah.
Neil Adams, little Neil Adams working here, ink work here. He came in.
Somebody posted a piece of Neil Adams. It was Red Sonja, and Red Sonja coming through a gate with a couple of barbarians, like opening the gate for her. Oh wow!
Yeah, I saw that picture just the other day.
Yeah, good lord.
That's one of the reasons why I don't go for this letter tone, because that guy on the left there looks like he's just suddenly been sunburnt.
Here?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't reproduce very well.
No.
He should have used a lighter tone if he wanted him to stand out. He could have gone up 20-30% on that.
Look at the guy on the on the right there. If they used that on there, it would have been great.
Yeah.
Maybe he did originally do it brighter, but
well, we don't know, do we? But I'm just saying that I wouldn't use it in the first place. But that's just me. I don't like it.
It wasn't necessary there because the figure stands out so much.
If you want that kind of a tone, I'd put a wash on that.
Yeah. Well, again, though, they had to shrink this down.
Yeah,
so I don't
washing.
know if you could
could
trust
have
a wash.
restrictions.
Wait,
Yeah.
I have maybe it's because the other page itself is dark as well, right? Maybe it's to balance.
I think that the
it's a
bleed
book.
would go over, would it?
Because you're not just paying attention to the one page; you're looking at both.
What'd you say, Dre?
I don't think the bleed, like from of how dark the shading is, that wouldn't bleed through onto the other page, would it? I don't think so.
No, I just think he set it up visually so it looks more balanced.
Yeah,
between the two
he
pages.
should have used a lighter tone here.
Yeah, he's just used a dark tone there, and the reason they're using dark tones is probably because of the reproduction.
Yeah,
because it's literally black and white rather than grayscale.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, yeah, I would use a wash as well. But it's when it back then the reproduction was not as good, was it?
I'm sure they're shrinking stuff down drastically on this too. So
yeah,
here again, it's a little too heavy. There's that.
See, that would imply to me that they weren't sure of the format, because you've got to bear those things in mind. So if they knew this, it was going to be on this crappy paper and this size, Gil Kane should have been aware of that, in my opinion.
They might not.
I think he was aware. I think he's doing it intentionally as a visual reference point.
So blacking out. Yeah.
And I think it's intentional that one side on the previous page, the one side is dark and the other side is dark, because they would have seen the format of the comic, how many pages it was and where it was laid out. So there's like a visual.
I can't help but think that something like this, you would lose all that detail if it was shrunk down, because you're looking, that book was originally this size.
Yeah.
So you're taking this artwork and shrinking it down to fit this format, you know. Even on the Starhawks paperback reprints are sideways because of the way the art.
Yeah, and look at the paper that's printed on.
Oh yeah, that's horrible.
Plenty of bleed from the inks on there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. But he's inking thicker at this point too. This is about 10 years later. Another great shot.
So I think he's using the dark tones for specific emotional states.
Balance things out. Maybe.
Like,
because he didn't need it here either. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's she talking about?
No, he's got to die now. Now I demand it, Kargan. You want his blood to soothe your vanity. We're past that, man. Slay him now, and the mob is on us. He beat the flame lizard, but it's cost him his wits. No man can move the demon craft. He'll die anyway, and the rabble will praise me for my fairness.
So maybe the evil creatures or the evil characters are darker.
The Warlock Shrine, Kargan. I demand the right to try to move the Warlock Shrine. Or is your word as false on this as anything? Yeah, since nobody's moved it before.
I think
crazy.
I think he's using the dark tones as like the more aggressive or heightened the emotion gets. He's using it, but he's also using it to, I guess, visually separate things in a specific way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Break things up.
It's a horrible leg there, isn't it? That left leg, look at it. It's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, both of them are a little off.
Even
he's climbing up. He's remembering that premonition he had as a kid. So he figures out how to use the rocket, and he blasts off.
Like you do, yeah. You climb aboard, just work it out. Yeah.
This has got to be easy.
The sand of the arena exploded, belching flame and smoke, a geyser in all directions, bringing with it a shower of rock and earth, scorching the air to a furnace heat. The countryside echoed with the sound of cataclysm, and the ancient craft shrugged away mud and mire of the ages, lifting its needle prow toward the sky.
Very Thunderbirds. That
Yeah.
Yeah.
we got a new viewer, Filmanx. Hey ho, comics peeps. Hey,
Oh,
Filmanx.
sorry. I've been neglecting the chat. It's terrible. Sorry about that, folks. Filmanx.
That's Phil Man
Nice
X.
to hear. Filman X.
Yep, that's my roommate.
Hey, yo,
Yeah.
comics peeps. Oh, there we are. Thanks
Hey,
for
good
bringing them
morning,
aboard,
Filman.
Max.
Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you.
Facebook user, who drew it? This is Gil Kane. Facebook user. The great Gil Kane. The new king of Earth. Eek. Now he's got to land it.
Yeah.
Tesla style.
The ship's got a sword.
Mhm.
So who knows how that got there?
Whatever kind of metal they're using should be fun, I guess. 'Cause, like, if it was a real aircraft, or that those rocks would have torn the wings off of the.
Yeah. Emmerich, you've given me your dream to pursue, your mission to perform, and now your sword to fight my way. But the first blood it tastes will be for me, for BLACKMARK, for vengeance of my murdered parents.
He's suddenly 15 again, isn't he, in his space? He was 30
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
before.
Yeah. That's the effect that vengeance has on you.
Lose a bunch
Makes-
of years.
Makes you young again.
Yeah.
I'm coming back and I will kill you all. The new king has come. Death to the tyrant. Nice shot here. Nice angle. Everything on this shield. The body laying there, the eyes rolled up in the head,
Oof.
arrow in the throat. Just great.
Hmm.
Not with the violence, but with the way it looks, you know. Everybody's still fighting in the background.
The violence is cool too.
It's totally
Very
metal,
cool.
man.
The barbarian, destroy him, tear the heart from the beast, and it dies. Cut down the leader of the mob, and it scatters. Yeah. Can't have this rebellion.
The artwork seems to have gone off to me.
Here and there, it's towards the end of the book, and he's pressing a hard deadline. There's again, this looks like it was inked by Neil Adams and not by Kane. Here, I know Adams and his studio helped out on some of this. What another great shot.
Yeah.
Carnage.
Oops. Maybe we shouldn't have been a tyrant.
Okay. No excuses.
I think there's something I have issue with the story. I think they should have made him a bit more, less of a pushover.
The Emperor.
Yeah, like deceptively weak. You know.
He was a weak coward anyway.
Yeah. But I kind of like this. Like, I know it's not. I didn't write it, but like if I was writing it, I would have wrote him as like an Agamemnon character in like in the movie Troy, where he's obviously evil, but he could still kick your butt. So puts up a bit of a struggle. So the hero doesn't just walk over his enemies, right?
Yeah.
But that's just me. It's my. Like for comic book terms, you Kingpin style, you know, not entirely impossible to vanquish, but difficult to vanquish.
Looks like he throws his sword, and the bad guy throws the woman in the way, then gets away.
That's the guy who killed his mother, isn't it? Holding that girl.
You can tell by the armor and the evil-looking eyes here.
Yeah, and his
mustache.
his
Great mustache. Look at the hair here. It's nice.
All evil characters have mustaches or goatees.
Yep.
Or horns.
Sure sign of the bad guy. Yeah, the horns are the dead guy.
Combo.
Yeah,
Classic Gil. Look at that face.
it's
And the
rallying
hands
his
as well.
troops. Yeah, just the stance, everything on that is Gil Kane.
Shoot.
It's great stuff. In his mind, their shouts became rolling thunder. Sunlight's glint on their weapons, jagged lightning streaks. And once again, he was a youth on the storm-lashed mountain peak, screaming defiance to the sky, towering to make all Earth his own. You're mine now, suckers!
Are those javelins or spears? Or
Spears.
like,
More like
because like they're awfully thin
lances.
for. Is it like a common trope in comics where they draw like pole arms very thin?
What now?
I was just wondering if it's a common trope in comics where they draw pole arms, spears, pole axes, so on and so forth, thin.
No, nothing I've noticed. I mean, they're thin here, but you don't know what they're made of. They could be made of titanium steel for,
Yeah. Well, that's
and
why I think it's
be breakable. Yeah.
that's why I think it's a javelin instead of a
Yeah.
spear. And the one in the back would be a spear. Because I know, like, actually, when I was working on my own project, I had to get Renzo, the gentleman on pencils and inks, to he was drawing all the pole axes and spears and things like that in the story very, very thinly in the very similar kind of style as Kane here. And I had to basically step in. I'm like, I can't have this, dude. They need to be slightly more, but
Beefy.
they had to substance to. So that's what makes me think they're javelins.
That could be.
They might be those things that the Romans used to have. I don't know what they're called, but I know what you mean, Whiskey. They're not a spear, but they're just like a piece of iron, and it's about 3 feet long, and they just used to stick people with them.
Pikes.
Pikes, that's the one. Pike, that's the one. And then finish them off with those little swords, which is why they had little swords, so they could just knock people out instead of swinging big heavy things around the head.
Yeah, the halberds and pole axes weren't invented until the much later. There's a pole axe there again, also thin. That's strange.
Sees the flying reptile or whatever, and he starts getting zapped by his premonition again.
What I think happened is, like, he grabbed like a broomstick. And he's like, that seems about right, and then just drew it from there.
Could be. He knows there's a girl in his future.
Mhm.
That's what it is. Now we go on to book 2. In book 2, we can look at easier because that was printed in the magazine. That I just had here. It's gone away. It's ran off.
Pretty sure it's the last place you put it.
I'm sure it's the last place I put it, but where the heck did I put it?
It'll be the last place you look too.
That too. Yeah.
It's what people love about this show, the slick presentation.
There we are. Yeah. Slick presentation.
So,
Here we
I looked it up. The Roman soldiers' thin spears were basically, they were javelins. They were called pila, singular pilum. The pilum was a key part of Roman legionaries' armament, designed primarily as a throwing weapon. So yes, a javelin. It had a long iron shank with a pyramidal or barbed point, which was attached to a wooden shaft. The pilum was effective at both penetrating enemy shields and causing injuries to soldiers. Its design often allowed the spear to bend upon impact, preventing the enemy from throwing it back.
Yep.
That's why it's thin, making their shields cumbersome. And then again, javelins in this, like the medieval era, going up from to the thing, they still use javelins.
Well, the Romans didn't want them throwing them back at them, so
Yeah.
they made them to where they could like bend and break and fall apart when they were being used. So when they actually did impact the body, it would deform the shaft of the javelin thing, and then it would make it where it wouldn't be able to be thrown again.
Yeah.
Love that rock going on there.
Now we're
Yeah.
taking the artwork that was originally meant to be printed in this size, that was reprinted in this size, and they're going to cut it up into magazine for magazine pages. It's Rick Marshall, editor of the Black and White line at the time. We're going to take those layouts and really start messing with them. So there'll be multiple pages. Some panels will be more blown up than others.
Lettering is, I'm not a fan.
Same thing with the lettering. Yep.
Yeah.
Blown up or shrunk down. It's the same fonts, just you know.
Hideous.
You need this panel larger. Yeah, like Trigon Empire was like that, wasn't it? It was cut and pasted.
Yeah, look at the kerning as well on that top one there, on that right hand bubble. That's hideous.
Yeah.
No, the kerning on the bubble there.
Yeah.
And the spacing.
That's
all justified.
Force justified, isn't it?
Force justified, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what's called kerning?
The
kerning.
The
Kerning
is the spacing in the text, and then the justification is the way they put it into the paragraph. So it's force justified with a final line of range left, rather than
and also they've left the hyphenation on, which is awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Auto hyphenation. Wow.
Oh God.
That's a mess up your artwork.
Look at the space between that comma and I.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's terrible, isn't it?
There's one of those old typesetting things that you used to have to pump out in a photomechanical transfer box.
Yeah.
Paste it
bad
down
old
with
days.
wax. Yeah, the bad old days. Yeah.
Yep, the bad old days.
You young'uns, you don't know how good you got it.
None of this done by computer. This is all cut and paste and blown up.
The thing is, you've got to learn this stuff so you can avoid it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The person who did this hadn't learned about it.
Or didn't
Still,
care.
Still with us, Dre? Still.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm just soaking it all in.
There you are. Yeah, sometimes that's what happens here.
This art is nice.
So this is multiple pages, just cut and paste and
was
slammed
good,
together.
But
Yeah,
he's putting some extra into this. Those faces are great.
There's the cup again, or the mark again on the cup.
He's turned into Star-Lord now.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Classic.
know that I could ever wear thigh-length boots. Do you know what I mean? I just don't think I could do it.
I think I can pull it off. I got the cast for it.
I just wonder if that panel on the third panel on the first page is the wrong way around, because he's got it in his left hand twice, the goblet, and then he's got it in his right when he turns it over.
Oh,
Yeah, they might have
Or is-
turned it
or is
around
that-
for composition.
I think that's somebody else.
Yes, yeah, I've just seen. Yeah, it isn't him.
It is,
Yeah, I've just
yeah.
seen him. Yeah, it is.
Somebody
My
else.
Oh,
bad.
somebody's pouring out
This guy.
he's making a proclamation, a toast.
Yeah.
They're pouring it out in defiance,
Yes.
throwing the cup, and then he's jumping across the table to be like, I'm your king.
Yeah, I'm going to beat the hell out of you. I love that face on that guy in the bottom right.
Yeah.
That's not
What?
not particularly Gil Kane, is it? There's something that looks like something straight out of 2000 AD. That.
I was going to say, it looks very British to me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or French, yeah.
by Joel.
Oh, yeah, by Jove, yeah.
Tabernacle.
A great shot up the nose here. Angle.
He loves the noses.
Good use of shadows too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I ate this stuff up when I was a kid. Just
We're not going to
great,
get
great stuff.
we're not going to get canceled for using like
Up the
swear
nose.
words in a different language, are we?
What do you have in mind?
Well, I said tabernacle, right? But like, I was just curious.
No.
Merde. La merde.
We will do now that you brought it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Scheiße.
Yeah. Nobody knew.
It's a loophole. I say we exploit.
typesetting. Sorry, Mr. Go ahead.
I was saying if it's a loophole with the language thing, I say we exploit it. But you go ahead.
That's it. I'm exhausted. I know merde and scheisse, and that's it.
Oh, they have cut this down considerably from the book. They might want to use that instead, because this is how it starts. It starts like the magazine does, but there's a whole nother scene here. They just lopped off.
Wow.
A couple of barbarians fighting.
Wonder if they had to cut it for space for the magazine.
Yeah, that's what
Had
it
to
was.
be.
There he is.
Remember they did that in the Trigon Empire book I've got, where they chopped it up to fit the size of the book.
Yeah.
And there are, I don't think there are missing panels, but there's panels, the spaces. It's just awful.
There's the start of this. This is one page here. A lot of text, though. Yeah. These two are combined,
Yeah, they lost. Look at that.
blended one on top of the other.
Yeah.
Trying to make it readable in the magazine format and still move the story as much as they can.
It's a hack job.
Wow.
Yeah, 2 pages in one here.
Well, they had to cut all this stuff out in order to get it to the printer, right?
Oh, yeah. They'd have to cut it all out and re-photostat it larger and cut things. And yeah, pretty crazy.
The text is really small as well.
Yeah.
It jumps.
So maybe they
Jumps
literally
and
just
fast.
photocopied it.
That could be photostated, probably. That's
Yeah.
probably before Xerox machines. There's the.
If I'd have been given that job to do, that would have been a couple of days I didn't enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been fun, would it?
At least you'll be able to get it done in a couple of days. I'll be still doing it right now.
I'm almost done cutting out page 1.
I think I
Don't
can
bother,
fit
they're not
2
going to like it.
Yeah, you could have just left all the words off. It would have been fine.
Yeah.
Or retypeset the thing. They just. I don't know if they even did that. Oh, yeah, they did. There's no excuse, though. But they probably figured nobody's going to see the original anyway. We'll just cut it however we need to get the story across. And
It's
use
comics.
as much of the art as they can.
They didn't care.
Yeah.
It's just like, don't worry about it. Just put it out.
The great floating head.
And nobody suspects that any of this stuff at the time would have been as huge as it was.
Yeah,
Nobody
the
expects
scrutinized
Spanish.
40 years later.
Yeah.
It's awful, isn't it? I can't. I just keep trying to look at the drawings instead of the typeset, and I keep wondering. It's just awful.
We can go back to the original if you want.
I tell you what, if somebody came to me for an interview and showed me that, they wouldn't get the job. Not the artwork, the design and layout and the typesetting. They wouldn't get the job if they showed me that as a sample.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go back to the original. I'd rather do that.
All right. It'll all be there at least. So there won't be any more chance of a deleted scene.
That's better.
It's smaller, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I can drop the camera.
And the updated, pages that are,
That's great.
it looks better on the white.
It does. That's why they reproduced it. Gary Groth is got a lot of respect for this stuff. The guy who runs Fantagraphics. He does some excellent reprint work. His Thimble Theater Popeye books are just amazing. Crazy good.
That's it. Yep.
There we are. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Yeah. Here we go. A little bit more cosmic than the last one.
Yeehaw, Glugger for Rogan.
See, I don't like the typesetting on this, but at least it's consistent.
Right. Yeah. And these are probably just blown up from the original stats.
Yeah.
If not the same size as the originals in general. Because I could, from the line width, it looks like these could be 100%.
Who was Russ? Were you commenting on the boots?
Boots. Just a thought.
Yeah.
No, I was just talking about how I couldn't wear thigh length boots.
Yeah, I was just thinking that
Only on Tuesdays.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel right in them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'd feel a little bit like Sean Connery in Zardoz.
late night excursions. Yes.
Yeah.
What
a costume that was.
Street walking.
Can't wear that highs, but I can wear my chaps.
Them to wear that, eh? I think I'd look fantastic in those.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't wear thigh-high boots, but you can wear chaps.
Yeah.
I was just thinking though, like
Mm-hmm.
when like my internal monologue looking at the boots, I'm just like, fold the freaking fabric over, you stupid bastard.
But it's like the footballers now, isn't it, Russ? They have the socks over the knees, don't they? What's all that about?
Oh, no idea. It's like schoolboy, isn't
Like
it?
bloody girls, don't they?
Well, footballers are just children, all of them. Not that I'm not,
Yeah, but you don't make 300 grand a week.
No, that's right. No, I'm still 14 and I'm still getting paid for a 14-year-old.
300 grand a year would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
Like I get the point of them. They're riding boots, right? Specifically for riding, so they don't, tear the fabric on your legs, kind of like chaps. But like, fold them over.
Structure, temple in the background, sets of basic shapes, lopped together. It's great. Great stuff.
I like that shading on the side of them as well.
Yeah, it's all cross.
Completely flat, and then all the texture on the side. It's great.
Yeah.
I like the way he cuts the sky off. He doesn't go all the way down so that you lose that flag in the top of his head. He cuts it. I like that. That's a good idea. And I like the way that the entire army,
very stylized.
The army are marching into the open space.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Mm.
He draws good rocks, our Gil, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. It's great stuff. Chapter 2. Wizardry, Death, and Destruction.
Oof, look at that guy on the right there. He's been out right. It looks like Sean Bean in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. We had to make sure he was dead.
Yeah.
Put
Put another
that
one in
man
it.
into a
Put another one in
porcupine.
him. Yeah. Think of fire. Think of ice.
And there's one of Whiskey's javelins.
One does not
Yeah.
simply get one arrow in the back.
Mind you, when you think about it, when you see when they used to fire them into the air, they were like artillery, weren't they? The clouds of them came down, so I bet nobody got one in them.
No.
That's true.
It's amazing how anybody survived anything back then.
Yeah, I'm always amazed that anybody got off that beach in D-Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, anyway.
So all you got to do is watch Saving Private Ryan to see that.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yeah.
Back in the day when they didn't have antibiotics and you stubbed your toe and then you died.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So how on
Just
earth did they get
amputated
through all
your
those
toe.
wars?
Wars were
Amputate
extremely...
the toe or the foot if it swelled up too much.
Just think of how many soldiers on D-Day on the beaches died because they bled to death because nobody could get to them.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot, wouldn't there?
Yeah. I think that's
Cries
the point,
alone
though. It's more
would be unbearable, you know.
Yeah.
Screams.
Yeah.
It was
the
such
smell.
a slaughter.
Ugh.
Yeah. The smell. Even worse. A little bit of demon work here. Threatening.
Yay, demons. Like those teeth. Completely. There's no way you can shut your mouth with teeth like that. But it's great. It looks fantastic.
Oh, boy. They just hang over the front.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, exactly.
So there's no way you can look scary once he shuts his mouth.
He just travels with us. He just walks around with his mouth open. Here's Gil right there.
Yeah.
Looks a lot like him.
Yeah.
It's looking.
Looked in the mirror, probably. Okay.
Could be. Up the nose. Hello. This is all my fault. Yeah. Nice carriage. Large stone wheel that work in there.
Gil's women have nice carriages, don't they?
It's like Romero. You just can't draw.
Oh, yeah.
Have to
That's
try
right.
to try to draw an ugly one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just can't do it.
Classic Gil there. That's about as classic as you can get.
Dark
Floating
eyes and
heads.
the nose.
Floating heads.
Whoa.
Gil's a master of floating heads. Love those covers. Halt.
I think if this was made into a film, it'd get what we call an X rating.
Castle Chinooks.
Agreed.
Fallen.
TVMA up in this piece.
They just screw it up anyways.
Not
Yeah.
made for kids. Yeah. Give it to Kevin Smith to rework. Be silent. Keep steady. Steady. They're flying reptile bats of different shapes and sizes.
Yeah, this universe, Earth, doesn't look very pleasant.
No. It's Australia.
Everything tries to kill you in Australia.
There you go.
Well, there goes your Australian viewers.
Oh, come on. They actually have a sense of humor. They're laughing at
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're like,
They're
but they're like everybody else. They don't like it when you point it out.
Oh, yeah, okay. Hey. Yeah.
What do they call it over there?
Every day.
Dull, I think it's called.
Yeah, dull. Nice
Right there.
bit of silhouette work in here. As the army goes off a cliff.
Russ, have you seen that wine in the Tesco or somewhere with the Australian prisoner photographs on?
No.
Anyway, there's this this is about the Australia thing. They've got this wine in Tesco or Morrison's or wherever it is, and it's got photographs of actual convicts that were sent over in 1849 or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, they're founding fathers.
Yeah. And it's got, so I sent a photograph of the wine in the shop with all these things on to my cousins in Australia, and they were not happy at all.
They're not.
You know?
What's wrong with them? Sense
It's
of
not like-
humour.
It's not like it's a lie, is it?
Jeez, Cobber.
It's time to embrace your history and wear it as a badge of honor. We're taking you to an island that wants to kill you
Yeah.
because we
Bloody
don't want to kill you.
colonists.
We just want to get
You're
rid
all
of
the
you.
same. You'll make it difficult for us and yourselves. Good Lord.
Yeah, don't worry about anybody else you might find there. They don't own it.
Some say that's how the Earth in general was populated. You just
Yeah.
dropped off and told to survive. Yeah.
Ah, the alien prison.
Another great shot here.
Yeah.
That's not, yeah, one on the left. There's lovely depth he gets to that.
Yeah. And again, just enough. You know, he could have gone with that heavier tone here, but he
Yeah,
didn't.
that tone
that's what
really
he should
works
have done.
well.
Yeah, just enough to pop it out, just enough to use it. Same thing back here, just a light screen, just to show there's a sky, cut a little bit short to show a little cloud work there, just enough to break it off and square it out. And same thing here. There's a light zip screen on here too. That's a static stipple pattern.
Could you imagine if Gil got his artwork back from this, and those speech bubbles were pasted over like the guy, like Don Lawrence on Trying an Empire?
I think he arranged all of this. He typeset this probably.
But look at that picture there where the bubbles are going to it under your fingers there, right?
Mm-hmm.
They could have moved them over off the artwork.
Yeah,
there's plenty of room.
Sure.
But
I've seen they would be way over here.
Yeah, I've seen.
That's probably he probably did take them over to the edge, though. Now that I look at it, that's probably a safe area here.
I mean, it's very close to the bleed, but or border, whatever it is. But they could have easily just made it thinner and longer.
Mm-hmm.
It would fit perfectly fine.
Both of them could have shoved that up here. Well, again, too, we're looking at it from a modern perspective, where a couple of clicks in Photoshop, you can stretch that right out. Here, they had to print these out and then paste them onto the artwork. So
they had to.
Done.
They had to give the typesetter the dimensions.
Yeah.
And then have the type come out, put it onto Galley, and then paste it down. So if it didn't quite work, you were stuck with it.
Yeah. Do you fear the science of the mind demons more? Without these lances of electric fire, Psycheap's monsters will in time destroy us all anyway. With them, we've a chance. It's time the mutant masters encountered blasphemies greater than their own. So they're gonna go out and blaspheme those mutant masters. Again,
what a weird line there. Monsters in time will in time destroy us all anyway.
Yeah, Psycheap's monsters will in time destroy us all anyway. Fight and die or stand around and die. Your choice. No battle comes with a guarantee, Renard. If they're to challenge Psycheap's masters, it can only be together, not each man cowering in his castle. I don't cower, BLACKMARK, and I don't offer an enemy my neck until sure of my chances. I say we withdraw.
That's some gangster stuff right there.
Yeah.
I would hate to be in this guy's army. Like this is your. I know he's united everybody. He's trying to conquer the earth and Alexander the Great, everything, and establish an empire or whatever, right? But I'd hate to be like this dude as my leader. You know?
Yeah, you won't
keeps
be
taking.
won't be getting far.
Go ahead. Sorry, Andre.
Yeah, he is a. I mean, I don't know if you term militant leader because that makes sense, but it's like he's so driven. It's like, hey, I'll throw as many bodies at the problem as I possibly can.
Yeah.
We're gonna get over that hill, and so it's like he's driven. So it would suck to be in his army.
Yeah, well, he's very much a character like Alexander the Great, like very similarly designed, or the personality wise, to how it's portrayed in some of the stuff I've watched, and like it's just like he's a cocky kind of like.
Max, are you there?
Right?
Yeah.
Hey. All
You
right.
fall asleep?
Yeah. A little early, Max.
It is a little early.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's this character, like, and he's like cocky, and like, but the only reason they're following him is because he wins,
Yeah.
But he only wins because of them. If he was on his own, he wouldn't win.
Yeah.
Sai keeps taking all decision from us. Warlords, get to
That's
your
the
men.
point of a charismatic leader, isn't it? Yeah.
Keep the rocks to your back. Stay clear of the cliffs and the plains.
I don't think he's charismatic so much as, I don't really actually have the word for it, but like, I think he's just, he gets results. That's the only,
Yeah.
he's kind of
He's driven.
petulant.
Driven by his dreams. Here we go. Shoot the lance at him. Blow him out of the sky. Poof. Look at that. Don't stand gaping like virgins at a stud farm. You each hold the same power in your own two hands. Use it. Take the battle to the hell spawn.
Wow, that's some powerful language.
So he's telling them to go and
Yeah, exactly.
I can't say it.
Get F.
Yeah. Don't stand gaping like virgins in a stud farm.
God.
You each hold the same power in your own hands. Use it. Take the battle to the hell spawn. Yay. So they take the battle to the hell spawn. So they're able to storm the castle and free the women.
And they still all look gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
There you are. Yep.
What is good in life, Conan?
Yeah, pretty much.
The carnage and slaughter that had marked the initial encounter with Psykeep's demon legion prepared BLACKMARK for what he would find within Castle Chinooks. He was prepared to find death, to walk past the mangled, the disemboweled, strewn through the courtyard and hall. He was prepared to find life, to swing open dungeon doors and face the gibberers,
Gibberers?
the prematurely aged, and those who would stare forever, yet never truly see again. But nothing prepared him to expect more. Nothing prepared BLACKMARK to throw light into the dungeon shadows and find beauty. See it, machoism. Hey, there's a chick in here.
Oh, it's Gwen Stacy. It's Gwen
In a
Stacy.
rather well tailored dress.
Yeah.
It's I think it's
Well made up
gibbers.
face too. Look
No
at
sackcloths here.
that.
The word gibbers is pronounced
Gibblers.
gibbers, gibbers, or
Gibbering
Gibbering wreck.
Gibbering wreck. Yeah.
Thank the gods, my lord. It seemed we were all doomed.
Doomed.
She should have those little clip things in her hair, like, shouldn't she?
It's already well styled. At least in the dungeon, she had a good hairdresser.
Yeah. Should have got
Okay.
something else as well.
Yeah.
That guy there bending up, he's looking at.
Mhm.
Oh, that wonderful face though on that woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
That's
commenting.
fabulous.
She's
Yeah.
commenting about that guy.
Yeah. Have you seen that guy up there bending over?
Cute
Look
Yeah,
ass.
he
Look
neglected
at
more and
his
more.
bottom.
He appears to forgot his
Guy's
pants.
bride here. Right.
Looks like me on an average Tuesday. Good
Ice
lord.
wastes.
He's saying, "I've lost my contact lens. Where is it? Can you help me find it?"
Exactly.
Sorry, Randy.
He married her, then he ignores her. Here we are.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Thomas Shelby.
See if it's fine tonight. I can see it almost. It's getting more more vision.
What a classical fantasy name, Chandra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's crying. Oh dear.
Ooh.
That's what you get when you marry a Shelby.
That'll do it.
Seems driven. Yeah. Time is on the mutant side. If we delay, our strength wanes and the moment passes. Every warrior we can spare, every ship we have available must be ready by the end of the month.
I just feel sorry for the mutants.
We plunder at dawn.
Look at that. He says that means working day and night, my lord. We'll have to get in touch with the union about that.
Oh, not HR again.
We're already severely pressed. You yourself, I didn't say it would be easy. I said it must be done.
Oh, it's harsh.
It's deep.
Although I think I know a song about that.
Sandra, we're sailing now. Sandra, where are you? Hello. Hopefully
He's going to plunder other lands now.
she's run off. Yeah, they have mutants to kill, and his wife has left him.
Oh,
Well, that was quick.
Where would you go?
Yeah.
Good question.
Sure, yeah.
She's gone back to that cage with those other guys.
I'm going back to the prison. This is crap.
There's
Yeah.
like 60 people in the universe, right? At that time, like, you know.
And she's
Where
with the
do you
most
go?
handsome one, and she's done one.
You ain't going to get any better, love.
Look at that. Look at the line work here. So looks like almost Mobius here.
Yeah.
It's
Lovely.
beautiful. Another great chapter head there.
Yeah,
Love
lovely
that.
movement in that flying lizard thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Bat ears. Looks like. Just great stuff. This the boats here look metallic.
Another rodent lizard, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice waves as well.
Off our port paw, a small boat. Great drawings. Look at that.
It's like Hakusai, that isn't that? With those waves.
Finds her next to death. The knife in her. Don't try to talk. You'll be all right. You know, once we get you. Something wet touched BLACKMARK's arm, warmer and thicker than the water of the sea. The launch rocked, and Chandra rolled toward him, a cry of pain bursting from her lips. It's Renard's knife. It's a time I must talk with Blackhawk now alone. Talk Chandra after Bazamo cares for me. With the strength, it's too late. Just tell you what happened. Please, BLACKMARK, listen, please. Must be some time has passed. He's been out plundering and she's been out sailing.
There's nothing pleasant about this world at all. Even
Yeah.
the boats.
He's having a
Like there's nothing here.
He's having a real shock of bad luck, isn't he? I mean,
I guess it's more like Elric after him.
yeah.
The silly slut he took for a wife. Says you were anxious enough to flee his bed, but you will still think of him as a savior like every other clod. I'll tell you what BLACKMARK will find. The corpse of the silly slut he took for a wife.
Oh,
And
no.
we got canceled.
So she's run off to him, to the bad guy. And
He's run off to the bad guy and then he's killed her.
Then he stabbed her. But he does that all the way through, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a bit of a stabby person, isn't he?
He likes to be the last person, doesn't he?
What did he? Psychopath or sadomasochistic or
Call
something?
him, Stabby Abby.
Neighbor next door. Yeah.
How can you do a head full speed when there's a wind? What's all that? That's all the engines. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I missed that bit. Yeah. I'll be quiet.
The storm came at noon of the following day. A noon turned by black mountains of gathering clouds to darkest night. Then lightning bolts ripped upon the darkness, sending down torrents of rain and a wind that howled like the mother of demons searching for her young. And in the center of it all was BLACKMARK's fleet.
Kind of reminds me of with the engines and then the sails mixed in the technology of a TV show that had one pilot episode called River World and didn't really go anywhere after that. You seen that?
That's based off of a series of books by Philip Jose Farmer.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was books.
Never heard of it.
Oh, or Ursula Gwynn, one of the two. The old,
concept of
there's a series of books.
So the concept of Riverworld, at least the show anyways, was that people would come back to life after their death at different points in history. And they were all basically in this river, and they like basically pod things, and they come out and they have stuff with them like clothes or like a shirt that they could put on, and then as they're being led out of the river, waking up, they discover people from different time periods, and they can all understand each other. Then they get all swept away and captured by I believe it's Nero, or the Emperor Nero.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's his face to the top of my head, Clemens something or other. What's his name? Randy, you remember the guy's name? Builds the riverboats.
No, Samuel Clemens.
Yeah,
Samuel Clemens.
That's Mark Twain. Yeah,
Mark Twain. Yeah, so Mark Twain helps them build a riverboat, and a modern engine. It has a modern engine in it, or a steam engine or something in it,
Now that does sound drug induced.
It was a great show. I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually. It was really well
produced. There's a lot of great old science fiction from that era, very few of which has actually been made into a movie or television or whatever. Just so much great stuff out there that's been ignored.
I was mad when I discovered it was canceled.
Stuff. Yeah.
I was like, wow, this would have been a great show to just like watch.
Yeah, I think Sci-Fi showed it. Sci-Fi Channel had it the pilot, and they never carried it out.
Well, I'm going to read the book now.
Knocked into the sea. One more chapter to go, I think, folks. And now we're pressing time, so we need to pour through this a little quicker. Beautiful line work here.
Yep.
Oh, lovely water. That's lovely. Yeah. That's very graphic as well, but still managed to give the sensitivity of the water.
It reminds me of Flat Kirby Crackle.
Yeah,
a little. Yeah,
in a way. Yeah. Max, you still doing okay?
Yep.
Okay. Kind of hearing you snoring, bud.
Oh no, it's just breathing. I'm not feeling so hot.
Well, it's all right if you need to take off.
No, I'm good.
All right. We're almost done anyway. Here we go. Another great shot. So the mutants throw rocks at him. Boiling oil, boiling oil. But even as the men were knocked screaming from the cliff face and as blood smeared pulps, charred, withered flesh amid the rocks and surf below, Bazamo was shouting and gesturing frantically. BLACKMARK here, this device, it marks what I hope to find. Nice little mutant rat here.
It's great. Love the way it's pouring down out of the rock
The
from
prose they're
left-hand page.
choosing is really kind of feeding into the artwork.
Yeah, it's very graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pulpy. Another great shot. Here's the back of my foot. Or is that a rock? It's a rock.
It's a rock, yeah.
More great line work here. Mutants. Monsters of all sizes and shapes. As the warring horde moves in and attacks, starts slicing. A length of steel for you, puppy. Wouldn't want you to miss it after coming so far. This makes him madder. Is that blood rage working? It's a great shot. Hand up there. Just the turn of the body. Almost Tarzan looking here.
That's good. Go back a sec.
Hip boots and the look of evil. Yeah. Or thigh boots, I should say. At least he folded them down.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
was nice of him. So that's one of the most difficult angles to do that.
Yeah.
You look down the top of the shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes along with when you look up into the chin. That's a
Yeah.
really difficult thing to draw as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because he could have done this as a flat, straight
Yeah.
on shot if he wanted to, but no, he needs that challenge. So
Yeah. No. That's
what he does.
it. You want to keep the action going and the interest.
keep it's everything static. And here we're looking more down at his evilness here. But for the birthmark, I might never have known or remembered. Might never have known that the upstart slave I've hated for fulfilling the dream of uniting New Earth I failed to achieve was the little cottager's cur I mistakenly let live. So yeah, everything comes full circle in the second book. He sees the mark.
It's gonna kill him.
It just adds to the rage of the fight. Another floating head.
Whoa.
Like the little smoke here off of the sword. Show he was swinging.
It's a good artistic style to show motion. I like that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's good the way he never actually shows the violence. He just shows the action, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Which is which is weird, really, because it's far from an all ages comic.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
You think about the subject matter and some of the things that have actually gone on that you would read
Hey,
rather than being shown, and it's not an all ages comic, so you'd think he would show more of that.
It's almost kind of Hitchcockian, though. Show don't
Oh yeah, there is
Exactly,
that,
yeah.
leave it
there is
leave it
that
to the
yeah.
mind to fill in
Yeah.
the blanks.
I think it's more of a challenge to do that than to show the sword going in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's good sequential art, isn't it?
Yeah.
The story in the margins, as it were, the story in the gaps between the pages.
Yeah.
you know, when you actually stick something with a sword, it makes it all that more impactful.
Cataclysm. I think the bad guy probably gets away in the end, just so that there might be a third book that never existed.
That's a pity. I wanted to see him killed.
He probably gets it in issue 3 that we don't see.
Yeah, bummer.
Comes raging at him. Oh no!
Ooh,
Gets an eye.
Cat's eyes.
There it is.
Oh, there's
Oh, well, that's the one. Have that. There you go. We were talking about him not showing violence.
Yeah.
There you are. Yep.
He must have heard me back through the time.
Shove that one in your eye, mate.
Oh,
No
yeah.
denying
See,
that
he's
one.
waited for the right moment to.
That's gonna
Yeah.
smart, isn't it?
Well, it's
He's
good
so
because
angered. He's got cat eyes too. So here we
it's
go.
good because it made the impact, didn't it? Because
Yeah.
you know, from our reaction, not showing it before.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. Yeah, but if you show it all the time, then there's no drama to when
There's a
something like that
desensitization.
happens. Yeah,
Right.
You wanted the reader to be invested to the point that no matter how many times you see like bad guys get killed in it or vanquished or whatever, that final one, that was the one that you really wanted to see get done in because he was so evil.
Hey, falls off the cliff into the probably
That's
into the sea.
that's such a again that pose
So
that
he can
he's
return.
got falling off the cliff. That's,
Yeah. Isn't that great?
how many times have you seen that in Spider-Man?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a Spider-Man shot, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So you know he'll be back in the third book. He'll just have an eye patch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It'll
Which
be,
makes him even more evil.
it'll be Nick, it'll be Nick Fury from Earth 59.
There you go. Much better than having
looking
a cat
after a
scratch
cat,
the
no
eye.
doubt. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, no, she
dead.
died.
Yes, sir.
Oh no.
She's dead.
She did.
He held and rocked her cold, slight form while his heel heedlessly ground the life out of the now unnoticed sprig of green.
Everybody else is like, well, that's just another Tuesday.
Yeah.
Let's go for lunch.
Yeah. We got a couple of girls in the back. Come on.
Man.
Wow.
BLACKMARK clutched Chandra's lifeless figure to him, its words of pain muffled in her hair. Only the soft sounds of anguish could be heard. The queen was still and lovely and lost forever. The shroud of night closed slowly over the northern sea and over the small ships sailing the edge of New Earth. A little over the 2-hour mark now, but here's the afterword. They talk about Gil's career, the Savage book that we looked at last week. Go back and look at last week's Comics by Night for that one. A few more examples of the one-
LBJ there.
yeah, the one scene that Savage is really known for its graphic violence. Where he takes a gun and shoves it in the guy's
Stuck
mouth.
on that. Fantastic.
Just turns it and shoves it right in his mouth. His other work, they talk about BLACKMARK and why he made it.
That's in French as well.
Sure is. Gary Groth, the publisher, did that backward. Did the afterward on it.
Oh, look at the color on that. After reading the whole thing, now you just find out the horse is blue.
Yeah. Why not?
And his boots are blue as well.
Well, you've got to have a matching horse and boots combo.
Lighter
Yeah.
blue. It's a lighter blue.
Still blue.
Yeah.
Fold your damn
Folks.
riding boots. Jesus.
We've been looking at Gil Kane's BLACKMARK. If you find this at a show, definitely pick it up. It's one of the most unusual bits of sequential art and prose mix that you'll find. I love this book. I was a early teenager, mid-teenager when I found this. The work just ate it up. Just great stuff. Gil Kane, it's a true master of this art form. So we hope you've enjoyed looking it over. Max, tell folks how they can find you.
You can find me at atrocitypress.com. You can get all of our social media links, all of our news a week before it hits social media, and all of our merchandise and shop materials are on there too. So that's the one-stop Atrocity Press shop.
Cool. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me come by.
Whiskey, tell folks how they can find you.
You can find me on the old X under Bandit and Ricochet Studios, or Art Studio there. And I do 3D art and there it is, 3D art commission work for 3D miniatures and action figures and all kinds of different 3D models. Here's some stuff from my Bannerstein Lance miniatures game that I've had in development for several years now. And along with that, tied into the same universe, is a comic called I'm working on called Driftwood, story about necromancers. So you can find out about that stuff through either contacting me on Twitter at Bandit Ricochet Art Studio, and just send me a message if you want something made or want to learn about the projects I'm working on, or check out some of my art.
Dre, we appreciate you stopping by, man. Thanks for coming by and enjoying this stuff with us. We love doing this.
Absolutely. This was a pleasure. This was fun. And thank you guys for having me today. So everyone can find me at TheBrute00 on Twitter. I love to hear from everybody, or my YouTube channel, Brutal Planet Comics. And of course, I implore you, please help support my Indiegogo for Trouble, The Rhythm Within, my graphic novel. It is my Citizen Kane, my magnum opus. So this has been a labor of love for many years. There's many cool tiers. Yes, I always look at that ridiculous picture. What the heck was I thinking? But yeah, you definitely reach out to me there, and I'm sure there will be a link in the description section below. Look at that moron! Look at that fool!
Get it out.
Give a quick elevator pitch one more time, just a quick one, because we're running over. So
yeah. So this is all about the power of music. It asks the question, what would happen if music gave you superpowers? We go into a action adventure musical following our hero Zamir Green as he tries to uncover the mystery of what's going on in his city while trying to save his city from destruction. It's a good old-fashioned, old school 80s, 90s as comic style, and just going there and having a good time, action adventure style. It's pretty much fun for everybody. And if you're a fan of like old school comics, Spider-Man, X-Men, anything in that genre, you're gonna really love this book. Yeah, that's about it. And I would really love your support and me bringing this to your homes.
go over there and check it out, folks, at Indiegogo. Trouble, the Rhythm Within. Go over there and give it some love, folks.
Please do.
Thanks again, Andre, for stopping by. You're welcome here anytime.
Oh, the pleasure was all mine. This was
anytime you want to get up at 5 a.m.,
Yeah. I gotta make
you're
sure.
You're welcome aboard.
Yeah. Make sure I have my cup of Joe with me. That's for sure. But this was fun. I really thank you for having me.
Yeah, great. Thanks for stopping by. Russ, tell folks how they can find you. Unmute yourself first, though. Unmute yourself and then tell us how they can find you.
I didn't realize I was muted. There you go. You can find me at russleach.com. Up on the screen at the moment is one of the covers for The Shadow Kingdom, which is a book I'm doing with Randy. It's an adaptation of the first, I suppose, sword and sorcery book by Robert E. Howard. And I'm in the process of inking now. It will be out for crowdfunding in the new year on Fund My Comic, and maybe other places afterwards, but we'll see how we get on with Fund My Comic first. And we're really enjoying ourselves with this. So there's the cover currently. Although we've got
it's a great fun story, real standard sword and sorcery. This is the one that started it all. It's got King Kull as he's dealing as being king with Volusia and finding out there's a conspiracy of taking his throne by a group of shape-shifting lizard people.
Yeah, it's what more could you want?
What more could you want?
Superb fun, and it's great fun to draw as well.
And look at that artwork, folks. Just look at that.
Really pleased with that. I've got some on the board at the moment. If we stop that, here we go. I'll just show you a page. Here we go. I've got a page here. So all of it's traditional artwork.
Let me blow you up here.
Here we go. There's a page of him starting to go down the catacombs, looking for the lizard people.
Look at that.
Looking for lizard people. Lizard people. So so really pleased with the way it's coming out, and can't wait to see that. We've got plans. Randy thinks I'm completely crazy.
He is. He's
but we do have plans. So look out soon for Atlantis. Okay?
More stuff.
More information coming soon. And if you sign up for the email list over on russleach.com, you'll find out more about that, along with the third book in the series of Only Death Can Save Us, which will also be coming out in the new year. So,
and Russ, while you were working on Shadow Kingdom, you did another story for Doctor Who Monthly, right?
Oh, a while ago. Yeah.
Has that come out?
Oh, yeah, the Doom thing.
The Doom thing? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it was Doomsday. It was called Doomsday. And it had this character called Doom, and it was 24 hours of this character's interactions with different iterations of the Doctor. And I did 3, 4, 5, and 6 or something like that. I can't remember which hours I did, but it was a 15-page special for Doctor Who magazine. So you can go check that out anytime you like.
We're not laughing at you, Russ.
No, don't worry.
Is that out on the stands or what?
It's been out on the stands and gone now. So, but I think you can still. I think you can still pick it up over at panini.co.uk.
Yeah.
They still sell it over there. Whether I would imagine at some point there will be a compiled version of all the Doctor Who stories I've done, but I don't know if anybody wants to buy it. There you go.
Yeah. Glenn, tell folks how they can find you.
Stop it, Glenn.
Please.
You can get me on the usual. You can get me on the usual social media places, whatever they call this week, I don't know. But if you go to New Haven Publishing, you can or Amazon or Barnes & Noble, you can get a copy of my book about my visits to see Jack Kirby at his house back in the late 80s, early 90s. Issue 14 of my magazine, Comics Unlimited, is due out in a few weeks. So, Randy, please be aware of that.
I'm working on it. I swear I'm working on it.
But if you go to, if you want to see
hours last night, it's coming. It's coming. I swear it's coming.
If you're interested in seeing some of my cartoons, you can go to Fund My Comic, where you can pick up my character Hatch and his annotated book. And there's also a companion book with that. It's a sketchbook. It's just all pencil stuff. I don't know whether you can pick that up or not.
Yeah, you can see a little bit of it.
Yeah, it's just pencil sketches of him. And yeah, you can get that over on Fund My Comic right now. So, and there's other things.
I have one. Buy it now.
Thank you. And
Buy it now.
And you can also find
Max. Max, how you doing, bud? I'm good. Okay.
And you can find my I think I've got 11 books now in print on Amazon. Go to Amazon, you'll find all my work there.
Type in his name at Amazon under books and take a look, folks. All sorts of
different to science fiction, Kennedy assassination, which is relevant for next week, and children's books, all kinds of things.
Sweet.
It must have been an ordeal trying to get through that with a straight face.
Yes, but it was worth it.
I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. We really enjoy doing this and love having you here. You can find my work over at arrowcomics.store, where you can find such books like Calico of Shard, which is a fantasy title that I'm very proud of, with artwork by C. Michael Lanning. Paragon, it's the superhero story with a great twist ending, with artwork by J.R. Harris, The Fool, that is a superhero urban vigilante going around fighting street crime with practical joke weapons. I call him the rodeo clown of justice, as he fights crime with practical joke weapons, and anybody he ties up for the cops, he takes a section of their clothing as a trophy and incorporates it into his action duds. And of course, you can find 2 entire issues of Hero Bot Zero, which is a book that I created and drew, most of number 1, a little bit of number 2. Some of that was done by Empyrean Vole. That's got a great story. It's the adventures of a 3-foot-tall giant robot as he fights large monsters in his city, and defends his city from other menaces, as long as he can do it on the clock and get time and a half for hazard pay. It's all over at arrowcomics.store. There's so much more stuff over there, and there's more stuff being added all the time. So go over there and take a look. Take a look also over at fundmycomic.com, where you can find such campaigns that are Arrow Comics, as Chrome Dog, Soul Tack, and AR-13L, the Little Merkmate, which is really pressing 20 grand on their campaign. So be with us Sunday morning at 9 a.m. as we go through more of Starhawks by the great Gil Kane, a newspaper adventure strip with the help of Ron Goulart and Archie Goodwin, who also wrote the prose in the BLACKMARK story. We got through that much of the book last time, so hopefully we won't be doing a part 6, but there might actually be a part 3 at the rate that we're going. Great stuff, all here for your viewing enjoyment. So we deeply appreciate you being here. Remember, stop back by Friday morning at 5 a.m. if you can get enough coffee and caffeine in you. And take a look at more stuff. We're probably going to look at more Gil Kane if I can find it. I know it's here. I just have to uncover it. I've got Talos that we need to look at, and as well as the Sword of the Atom miniseries, which is really kind of a fantasy superhero tale that is a lot of fun. Very, very Gil Kane. We'll look more at that next week, hopefully. If not, then we'll look at something else that's great. We are archived over at the Comic Book Black Belt site, the Randy Zim channel, and the Indie Comics Network channels. And we know the majority of our viewers don't get up this early. They sit there and they watch us as they're working, or we're entertained at work. And we hope that you are. Do we not entertain you? Anyway, we hope that you're entertained. We appreciate you being here, and we love you all. Leave a comment leave a like and love. Don't be afraid to hit that. Leave a comment over at whatever platform you watch us on. We would love to hear from you. If there's somebody that you want us to take a look at, we will happily do that as well. But we've got enough to keep this show going for decades, believe me, folks. There is such great material out there. Well, yeah, whether you like it or not. We don't do this because we're monetized. We do this because we love this stuff.
Whether you can stay awake or not.
Yeah,
exactly.
Joke's on you, bitch. I love this shit.
Retailers go out and buy a comic book or some art or something like that, especially ours.
Buy alternative and independent comics, especially ours. Take a look at that treble over at Indiegogo. And
absolutely,
what great fun! That book looks like great fun.
Yeah,
really original as well. Yeah, love it.
Take a look at Mary Machine Gun, Atrocity Press as well. Hatch over at Hatch Annotated. That's still up over at Fund My Comic as well, right? There we are. Yeah, and Only Death Can Save Us. And keep an eye out for Shadow Kingdom. RussLeach.com. Sign up for that now today and get more news as it becomes available, as they say. And there's a lot more where that came from, folks. So
if you ever
here
need
for a reason.
you ever need an action figure of any kind for your indie comics,
That too.
I'm the guy. Yeah, send me a message.
Be on the lookout for driftwood. And you know, this entire show, we have yet to talk about buttered sausage.
Let's talk about buttered sausage. Talk about buttered sausage, where it comes from, what it does.
Love buttered sausage.
Gary, calm down. Thanks again, everybody, for being here. Appreciate you all. We love this business. We love this stuff. There's too many trolls out there. So let's talk positively about this business. Remember, hating ain't creating. And go out there and do the work. Do the work. Entertain the people. That's what we're here for. We're not here to troll. We're not here to be negative about this business. We're not here to talk down about comics. We're here to talk it up. So hashtag comics saved me. Quite frankly. Let's go. Folks, we'll see you soon. Sunday morning, 9 a.m., more Starhawks. Friday morning, 5 a.m., more Gil Kane. Probably. Probably. If not, then somebody else. There's always somebody to look at, right, Gary?
If you look at something and there's nothing there, what's the difference of figuring out what it was in the first place?
That's right. It's always there.
We love Gary.
We love Gary. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Gotta go out with a disclaimer and a couple of bumps. Make sure, again, get up there Indiegogo on that treble. Folks, it needs some love. It needs some love. Here we go.
The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
Talk about positions.
Have a question or comment for us to address on the show? Have a topic you want us to talk about? Email us at indiecomicsnetwork@gmail.com.
Oh, you silly, simple bastard.
Come on. It was running. Try it again.
Bye, Jack.
We really shook the pillars of heaven, didn't we, Wayne?
No horseshit, Jack.
No horseshit.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
How dare you?
Get off my lawn.
And I just want to say, when my time comes, I want to be buried face down, so that anyone who doesn't like me can kiss my ass.